The air hung heavy with despair, a suffocating blanket that seemed to choke the very life out of the surroundings. The Hawaii State Hospital, once a beacon of hope and healing, had become a somber last resort for those lost in the depths of their own minds. Its corridors echoed with the tormented cries of patients battling mental illness, their anguish reverberating off the cold, sterile walls. Shadows danced in the corners, harboring fear and uncertainty, as if the very walls were alive with the suffering they contained. A palpable tension permeated the wards, a constant reminder of the profound suffering within those walls, a suffering that seemed to seep into the very air. It seemed even the tropical sun couldn't penetrate the darkness that had settled over this once paradisal place, a darkness that clung to every corner and crevice. Nurses, hardened by years of witnessing such anguish, moved like phantoms through the halls, their steps silent and their expressions haunted. Their faces, etched with a weariness that ran deeper than bone-tired fatigue, reflected the toll of their daily encounters with despair and hopelessness. The weight of countless broken minds pressed down upon them, threatening to extinguish their own inner light, a burden that grew heavier with each passing day. It was a place where hope went to die, a stark contrast to the vibrant life that pulsed just beyond its gates, a reminder of the fragility of the human spirit. Into this crucible of despair arrived Dr. Len, a figure whose presence would soon become legendary within the hospital walls. Dr. Len possessed an aura of quiet confidence that stood in stark contrast to the frantic energy of the hospital. His demeanor was calm, almost serene, as if he carried an inner peace that was unshakable. His eyes, wise and knowing, hinted at a depth of understanding that extended far beyond the confines of traditional medicine. They seemed to see into the very soul of those he encountered, offering a silent promise of hope and healing. He was an enigma, a beacon of serenity in a tempestuous sea of suffering. In the midst of chaos, he stood as a calm figure, radiating a sense of peace that was almost palpable. Dr. Len didn't subscribe to the conventional methods of treatment. His approach was unconventional, often baffling to those who adhered strictly to medical protocols. He carried no prescription pad, sought no patient histories, and relied on no medical charts. His tools were not those of a typical doctor, and rarely, if ever, met with the patients directly. This unorthodox method left many of his colleagues puzzled and skeptical. His arrival was met with a mixture of curiosity and skepticism. Many wondered about his true intentions and the efficacy of his methods. Who was this man, and what could he possibly offer in the face of such profound mental anguish? His presence alone seemed to challenge the very foundations of their understanding. His methods, shrouded in mystery, seemed at odds with the scientific approach that defined the institution. Yet there was something undeniably compelling about his approach, something that hinted at a deeper truth. Dr. Len spoke of an ancient Hawaiian practice, a powerful form of spiritual healing known as ho'oponopono. This practice, deeply rooted in Hawaiian culture, emphasizes the importance of reconciliation and forgiveness. Its core tenet was radical personal responsibility, a concept that initially baffled the staff. They struggled to grasp how their own actions and thoughts could influence the well-being of others. How could their actions, their thoughts, be responsible for the illnesses of others? It was a challenging idea to accept. It seemed preposterous, a notion bordering on the absurd. The idea that one's inner state could affect the outer world was difficult to comprehend. Yet Dr. Len's conviction was unwavering. He stood firm in his belief that every individual carries within them the power to heal not just themselves, but the world around them. He spoke of interconnectedness, of an invisible web that binds us all. This web, he explained, is the essence of our shared existence. He insisted that by healing ourselves, by taking responsibility for our own thoughts and actions, we could initiate a ripple effect. We could effect change in the external world. This self-healing, he argued, was the first step towards a larger transformation. His words, though initially met with resistance, gradually began to seep into the consciousness of the staff. They started to see the potential in this ancient wisdom. Could this ancient practice, this radical notion of self-healing, hold the key to unlocking the chains of suffering that bound their patients? The possibility was both intriguing and hopeful, offering a new perspective on healing and responsibility. The medical staff, steeped in the rigors of science and logic, initially scoffed at Dr. Len's methods. They dismissed his approach as mystical mumbo-jumbo, a far cry from the evidence-based practices they adhered to. They questioned his credentials, his sanity even, as he calmly went about his work. They whispered amongst themselves, their skepticism a palpable presence in the sterile hallways. Dr. Len, however, remained unfazed by their doubts. He continued his practice with unwavering faith, his quiet confidence a stark contrast to the cynicism that surrounded him. He spent his days reviewing patient files, not to diagnose or prescribe, but to heal himself. He believed that by healing the darkness within himself, he could, in turn, heal the darkness within the patients. It was a radical concept, one that challenged the very foundation of their understanding of mental illness and healing. Days turned into weeks, and a subtle shift began to occur within the hospital walls. The air, once thick with tension and despair, seemed to lighten. The patients, though still grappling with their inner demons, appeared calmer, more at peace. The incidents of violence and outbursts, once a regular occurrence, decreased dramatically. The staff, initially skeptical, watched in stunned silence as the impossible unfolded before their very eyes. Even the most hardened nurses couldn't deny the tangible transformation taking place within the wards. Patients who had been withdrawn for months began to emerge from their shells, engaging in conversations and activities. Smiles, once a rarity, flickered across faces that had long forgotten how to express joy. The hospital, once a symbol of despair, was slowly being infused with a glimmer of hope. The shared canvas of being. Dr. Len's philosophy extended beyond the individual. He believed that we're all interconnected, our lives intertwined in a delicate tapestry of shared experiences. He taught that every thought, every action, every emotion sends out ripples into the universe, impacting not just ourselves but those around us. He emphasized the importance of forgiveness, forgiving ourselves and others as a crucial step towards healing. His message resonated with the staff. They began to see their patients not as isolated cases, but as fellow travelers on this journey of life. They started to recognize the shared humanity that bound them, the understanding that we are all flawed, we are all capable of both darkness and light. The walls of separation began to crumble, replaced by a newfound sense of compassion and empathy. As the months passed, the transformations within the hospital became undeniable. Patients once deemed incurable were being discharged, their minds and spirits healed. The atmosphere of the wards shifted from one of despair to one of cautious optimism. The staff, inspired by Dr. Len's unwavering belief in the power of Ho'oponopono, began to embrace his teachings, incorporating them into their own lives. The once skeptical medical professionals began to experience a profound shift within themselves. By taking responsibility for their own thoughts and actions, by practicing forgiveness and cultivating self-love, they found themselves better equipped to care for their patients. The hospital, once a battleground for their own inner turmoil, was slowly being transformed into a sanctuary of healing, both for the patients and those who cared for them. Ho'oponopono's embrace. The success of Dr. Len's approach at the Hawaii State Hospital served as a powerful testament to the transformative power of Ho'oponopono. It showcased the potential for healing not just on an individual level, but on a collective one. It demonstrated that by taking responsibility for our own inner world, by choosing love and forgiveness over blame and judgment, we can create positive change that ripples outwards, impacting the lives of countless others. The story of Dr. Len and the Hawaii State Hospital is a beacon of hope, a reminder that even in the darkest of places, the light of healing can emerge. It is a testament to the power of ancient wisdom, the strength of the human spirit, and the transformative potential that lies dormant within each and every one of us. Dr. Len's journey with Ho'oponopono has left an indelible mark on the world. His teachings remind us of the power of forgiveness, love, and connection. As we continue to explore the depths of this ancient practice, let us carry forward the legacy of healing and transformation. Don't forget to follow our channel for more inspiring stories and insights into the world of healing and transformation. Thank you for watching.